lentils. We're going to use 1 tin of tomatoes. I'm going to use some stock powder just because it's loose. You can use stock cubes, but to be honest, you don't have to. You can just use herbs and that will be fine. There's no problem, you know, you don't want to put too much stock in, added salt. And also you could use your vegetable stock from scratch. If you've used all your peelings, you can make your vegetable stock and use that. So there isn't any need to add salt. I'm just giving you options on your situation. So like again, I'm just going to go 90% the way through. I'm not going to worry too much about how big they are because it's all going to get whizzed up at the end. And if you haven't got a whizzer, you can either have it rough or you can have it with a potato masher just to get a few of the lumps out. I know some children don't like lumps in their food, and then once it is whizzed up, you can use it as a pasta sauce, and then you can add things to it. So this is a really good base soup. Just rinsing my lentils to get any dust off. A lot of people don't like frying onions because they stick to the bottom. Now we haven't put a lot of oil in there. I made sure it was hot before I added the onions. And then what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of salt in there. And that stops the onions from drying out. If you look now, there is more moisture on the bottom of that pan. It keeps the moisture inside the onions and stops them from burning and drying. It's just a really good tip. But to be honest, onions, if you really want to get the best out of onions, you've got to cook them for quite a long time. So to get all the sugars and all that caramelisation in. Can you see that? That's nice and creamy. Nice, you know, nice tomatoes. And that's from plum. And usually plum tomatoes are generally cheaper. And then, so all this is all nicely caramelised now. So, I'm going to stick the tin of tomatoes in. So, 2 tins of water, and then I'm going to put in my half a mug of lentils. I put a little bit of stock powder in, because I like this one. So, that's that. I'm just going to turn it up a little bit, get it going, and that is about 20 minutes on the hob. And that serves about 4 people. But you know, if you have more people around, you just need to add some bit more water, bit more flavour, and then add some pasta to it, and then you've got that. You know, then you can add some cannelli beans, and then you make like a minestrone, or any kind of bean, chickpeas, whatever, and then yeah, and just bulk it out to about 8 people, and a bit of sweet corn in there. Just throw what you've got. You can just grate some vegetables in there. Really easy, just a really nice, easy thing to do. When you've drained your pasta, if you want to, you can put it under the cold tap, and that stops it cooking. Because when you put it into a dish and it's still hot, the flour is still absorbing moisture, which makes it all stick together. The same with noodles and rice and everything. There we go. So we've got some nice pasta, which we can use for we can coat with the soup that we're making. So instead of using it as soup, we can use it as sauce. So can you see how it's all thick? So if we wanted to, we could add a bit more water and add some pasta to that. So like I said, you could add a tin of beans and some herbs and make a really nice minestrone type of dish. We could put some mixed vegetables in there, sweet corn, anything tinned or frozen, and that would really bulk it out to about 8 people. As it is, that's about 4 servings. Depending on how big your onion is and how big your cup is for your lentils, will depend on the consistency of your soup. But that's quite a nice consistency, to be honest. I quite like that. And then what you can do, you can put it into 4 portions, and then you can put some bit of coconut milk in there, and some Thai spices. You could put some garam masala in, or you can use some Mediterranean. So there's lots of different ways. Once you've got your base tomato soup, of way of flavouring it up. Instead of having it as like a soup, you can then have it like a little sauce like that. And it's surprising when it's on a sauce like that how, you know, kids will eat that, and then you can throw in some broccoli or some any other veg, or you can put some leftover chicken and just make a really easy, simple meal. There's lots of different ways from that one soup you can make a, you know, a variety of meals.